Something I didn't expect with Mounjaro wasn't the weight loss, it was this. People are using it and hiding it, not telling their friends, not telling their family, some of them not even telling their partner. And I didn't realise how big this was until the messages started coming in. People telling me the same thing over and over again. I'm doing this, but I'm not telling anyone. So I asked for more. I asked people to email me their stories, their secret jabber stories. And honestly, I wasn't ready for what got sent in. So when I say secret jabber, I mean people using Mounjaro, weight loss medications, Ozempic, GLP-1s, Zepbound, all that kind of stuff. And people are hiding it. And at first you think that's just for privacy, but it really isn't. Because when you read these stories, you realise why. And I'll be honest with you, it's quite uncomfortable. Now, before I share some of the stories, some of the quotes, I just want you to all realise every single one of these quotes you hear me say today, every single quote you see on the screen has been sent in by a viewer of my channel. And I want to thank every single person that was willing to share their story so that I can make this video today. So thank you ever so much. Now, one of the biggest things that came through was just how many people are actually doing this completely quietly. I've not even told my husband. I didn't tell my friends or my husband, only my daughter. It's been a conscious decision not to tell anyone. Now I tell no one unless I think they're taking it too. Now think about that for a second. This isn't just someone being private, this is people actively deciding who they can trust and who they can't. Almost like they're creating a filter. They're not sharing it with their loved ones, they're not sharing it with their life partners, they're not sharing it with their children, and they're not sharing it with their closest friends. I'll only tell you if I think you're like me. That's not normal behaviour, that's protective behaviour, because what they're doing isn't random. And they're not just deciding who to tell, they're actually deciding who's not going to judge them, who won't question them, who won't dismiss it, and who won't turn it into a conversation about willpower or using these medications for cheating. So instead, they decide to keep it to themselves. Or they only tell people they think are doing exactly the same as they are. And when it gets to that point, it's not about privacy anymore. It's about self-protection. And when you look at why, it really starts to make sense, because this is what people are hearing. Some people say it's a lazy way out. You have no willpower. They said it was cheating and you don't know what you're putting in your body. Some of the comments are rude and aggressive. People want you to struggle when you're losing weight. They get angry if you get thinner without being miserable. That's the environment people are dealing with. There's this expectation, if you're going to lose weight, you've got to suffer for it. You've got to be going through hell. You've got to be having a rough time. And if you don't, people aren't going to accept it. They question it. They pick it apart. They look for a reason it doesn't count. So what do people end up doing? They don't argue. They don't explain. They just don't say anything. And that's the exact reason, the exact point. It turns into what we've just talked about. And it isn't privacy. It's self-protection. And do you know the bit that really got me? Not the weight loss, not the results, it's this bit. I hate lying about it. It's actually really heartbreaking. Just think about that for a second. Someone has done something that's improved their life, improved their health, improved their confidence, made them feel like a better person, made them feel happier, and they feel like they can't be honest with it. I'm not a dishonest person, but I feel like I have to hide it. I didn't want the stress of him thinking about the cost while I was doing this. It's been difficult not being able to talk to anyone about it. And that's the part people don't see. Not the weight loss, not the before pictures or the after pictures. They don't see the isolation. And the thing is, this is happening more than people realise, because it's not just about hiding the jab, the injection, whatever you may put into you to help you on your weight loss journey. It's about feeling like you can't talk about it at all. And that's a completely different thing. Now, from day one for me, I was always open and honest about my decision to start taking Mounjaro. And, I kind of had to, because I decided I was going to do a YouTube channel about it. So I was, kind of put myself head above the parapet, in the firing line. This is what I'm doing and this is what I'm hoping is going to happen. Now these are my results, this is where I'm at. But that was my decision. I felt supported. I had people around me eventually who came around to the idea of this is how I was going to lose weight. And it's clear to see from all these emails that I was sent in, it's really not the case for everyone. And by no means am I slating the people that are, secret jabbers, because that's not what this video is about. It's about getting that message out there, that understanding that people are doing this in secret and the reasons why they may be doing it run a lot deeper than people possibly think on first glance. And part of this journey, which is a little bit that nobody ever talks about really properly and honestly, is because when people hear weight loss injection, they, in their heads, they just simplify it. Calories in, calories out, willpower, discipline. But that's really not what's actually happening. That's not what's going on. So listen to this. Since starting, I haven't had a single beer. That's not just weight loss, that's behaviour change. The problem was never what I ate, it was the quantity and stress eating. I was obsessed with food. I was hungry all the time. The jab helps, but you still have to be good with your eating habits. So this crazy notion that people are just avoiding effort doesn't really hold up to any scrutiny whatsoever. Because what you're actually seeing here is people finally being able to make these changes, manage something that they couldn't control before. This isn't replacing effort, it's changing the battle completely. And if you take a moment just to zoom out even further, this goes way beyond food. Because when you read enough of these, you start to see a bigger picture. And it's not one thing, it's everything around it. I was a former athlete, but life changed. Obese women become invisible and judged. It wasn't really food, it was alcohol. Now these aren't isolated stories, are they? This is what happens over years with work, with stress, with routine slipping, habits slowly building in the background. And then one day you have to look up and you have to try and undo it. But you can't do that in public. Well, not everyone can do it in public. You can't do that with support, but you have to do it alone and quietly. And a lot of people can't see that because it's not just the secrecy of all this, it's the build up, everything that led to it and everything it takes to try and change it, to make a difference to your life. And reading all this, one thing becomes really, really clear. This is happening everywhere. Now, I had emails from France, I had emails from the UK, and I had emails from America. And people just aren't talking about this. Not the jab, not the weight loss, the fact that so many people feel like they need to hide it. Hide what they're doing, hide what's helping them, and sometimes hide it from the people closest to them. And if you've watched this video and you've recognised yourself in any of it, just be reassured you're not the only one, not even close. And maybe that's the part that needs to change. Not what people are doing, but how people are allowed to talk about it and the stigma that is attached to these weight loss medications. Even with me today, there was a situation in work where somebody said to a certain person, "Oh, you're looking good, have you lost weight?" And that person turned around and said, "Yeah, but I'm not cheating, I'm doing it the real way." Why the stigma? It makes no sense. And having to do it in silence, it just blows my mind. It makes no sense at all. What do you think? If you're on a weight loss journey yourself, or you're thinking about starting one, you're tracking all your food, your weight, and you're just trying to stay consistent, I've linked to the company that I use to get my medication. That company's called Bolt. It's nothing complicated, it is literally just what's worked for me, and there is a discount voucher down below in the description. Just wanted to say thanks to everyone that contributed to this video. It really does mean the world to me that you trusted me with the information that you sent me. By all means, email me and give me some feedback on the video. If you could spare the time to do that, that would be amazing. If this video has resonated with you, or you've recognised yourself in any of these stories, you're definitely not the only one. You are not alone. This channel is all about being honest about all parts of the journey. And that's the good parts, the difficult parts, and everything that comes with it. So if that's something you want to see more of, subscribe to the channel and don't forget to like this video. I will see you all on Saturday for a weekly update and Q&A video. If you've got a question for Q&A, just pop it down below and mark it Q&A in the comments, and I will answer your question on Saturday. But most of all, thanks for watching. I know this has been a little bit different than what I normally post, but I really felt quite strongly that I needed to tell the stories that I was being sent and that I was hearing, because I do feel very strongly about this. Not having been in that world where I've had to be a secret jabber doesn't hugely affect me, but I can understand and I can certainly relate to what people are saying, and it's been really, really interesting and somewhat heartbreaking to read the stories and what people are having to go through to take this medication. Again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on Saturday.